Okay. It is 6 p.m. April 23rd, 2018. I'll call the meeting to order. Number 2 on the agenda is the adoption of the agenda itself. Who has that? There's a lot of them out there.
No. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore. Be it resolved that the agenda be adopted as presented.
Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? It is carried. Everybody's here tonight. Okay, item number 3, confirmation of minutes.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting and the committee of the whole meeting of April 9th, 2018 be hereby approved, all statutory declarations having been complied with.
Any discussion?
Yeah, there's on the council meeting minutes, section 10, citizens period, it says that I advise that the town does not preheat the water, but that wasn't what I said. We do preheat the water in the winter time. Under Ivan Young's comments for citizens period on the council meeting. So just why don't I have that? I can't see the going to page 10. It's not page 10. Agenda. Item number 10. No, I've got item number 10 here. But citizens period, and then under the second bullet.
I don't have a second bullet.
Oh, yeah.
The working group is submitting an application to the Smart City.
You're in the committee of the whole minutes, not the council minutes.
The last page. The last page I have goes to number 10. Nothing happened.
Yeah, but that's...
There's nothing happened.
It didn't print?
Okay. Well, that's posted on the internet there, on the online site.
In terms of committee of the whole, any discussion? If not, here's the minutes then. All in favor? Yeah. Is everybody in on this? I'm seeing like 2 hands.
Yeah, I put mine up.
Okay.
Committee of the whole.
Council advised the town does preheat.
Yeah, we do preheat the water in the winter time. That's why we spend thousands of dollars on propane at the water plant.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay, as amended, all in favor? Carried. Item number 4, citizens periods. Ray Park, Mr. Novo.
All right, well, thank you for having me, first of all. My name is David Novo. I'm president of the Paul Families Building a Better Community. Last meeting, the CAO presented a letter of request for maintenance and operation of a future spray park fundraised by our organization. There are some questions and concerns at that meeting, so we got a hold of mayor and council all individually to see what those concerns were. After the meetings, we felt that we should return, go through the proposal again, as we felt the motion would pass this time. First, a little bit of history of our organization. We're a non-for-profit charitable organization composed solely of volunteers. Our organization has been fundraising for almost a decade. Last summer, a new executive was formed. The previous executive needed a well-deserved break. But my point I want to make here very clear is our organization has raised $95,000 from cookie sales, freezy sales, and family events run solely by volunteers. Each one of us is involved because we want to see more opportunities and development for our children, our youth, and families in our community. We are aware of the current financial situation of Town of the Paw, so we want it to be clear that we are not expecting any money to build the spray park. We are looking for support in maintaining and operating the park. The ongoing theme from most of council and the CAO and CFO is to use community enhancement money. And if there's any other questions, feel free.
Okay, anybody? Margaret?
You've approached the community enhancement, the destination marketing?
We've approached the destination marketing as right now for some money to build the park. Right now, before they've given us a decision, they want to have something in place saying that the town would take ownership and operation of the park before they give us a decision as far as that money goes, which is separate from community enhancement.
Anybody else? Chad?
Where are you in terms of, like, I know you said you've raised $95,000, but where are you guys in terms of actually being able to build? Like, what do you see as a timeline for building?
I guess it all depends on what we get for DMC money. We also have a meeting this evening with Community Places to see if we can get a grant through Community Places. So we're definitely not breaking ground this year, but if everything lines up properly and the way we're kind of hoping, we're hoping to break ground for next year.
Councillor Rock?
Do you have a project proposal plan or anything that you can share with us? I'm
Yes,
not sure that I know or understand exactly what it is we're trying to do, and because it's been talked about for so many years, it gets confusing.
For sure. I did submit one to Randy.
I can share that with council.
Perfect. I did also email you this afternoon as well.
Anybody else? Randy?
I just want to confirm this was actually going back to budget deliberations. There's been no decision made that's saying yay or nay on this yet. So I just wanted you to be aware of that because I heard that there was a lot of other things going on, but this is still going back to council during budget deliberations moving forward.
Okay.
Anybody else?
Just like to thank you for all your hard work that you've done. And I'd like to see it too. But like we said, we all have to have our ducks in a row. And I'm sure that can be possible.
Alan?
And since I was probably the most vocal last time, just so everyone understands where I'm coming from, we talk about expanding opportunities. For me, without a doubt, we need to do that. But at the same time, the pool is now only open 6 days a week, right? And hockey is not opening to a month later than it used to. So it's, without a doubt, like, who wouldn't want a splash pad? But I mean, there's challenges from our side too. We've got to juggle these other things, right? There's pull and take in every department.
Okay. Anyone else? Alan? I mean, Andrew?
Similar, I want to make sure that I'm clear that when it comes time to review what's in front of us for the budget, and if that includes a discussion around the spray park and the operations and maintenance costs, we're in a situation where we are forced to make decisions to cut back on services, to make cuts to existing infrastructure, to make decisions about how we fix or repair, or, the arena is a great example. We had a bad brine leak this past winter. We're staring at some kind of maintenance project that we don't yet know the scope of, but we can probably anticipate that when the shoe drops on that, it's not going to be a $10,000 bill, it's going to be rather large. And so it would be, what I aim to do is never put myself in a position where I contradict, where I ask one group, like a museum or the library or the recycle center or another group that's providing service to us already, where we tell them, look, we got to take some things back because we got to make this work, and then we turn around and send more out the door in another direction. And so I want to make sure that on my end, when I think about these things, that I'm consistent in my position and consistent in my message about how I deliberate on these kinds of decisions. So I value volunteers endlessly. We all sit on volunteer boards for services of those kinds, and we all have a responsibility to consider what our position is and what it is that we're asking all groups to do, not just one. And so certainly the PAW Families Building a Better Community has done a great deal of work in raising funds, and that's awesome. But when I consider all of these things together, that doesn't really factor into, it's awesome, and I appreciate it and I value it, but I don't, that can't weigh into whether or not that fits with whatever the strategy or direction is for how we're making our decisions around what services we are able to maintain, what services we need to invest in right now, and whether or not there's an opportunity for growth in the provision of services. So we talked about some of those things. Just want to make sure.
Absolutely, and our group is prepared to, once the park is ready to go, to give a $25,000 reserve fund to help in the operations of the park as well.
Can you say it one more time?
$25,000
For?
Reserve fund.
reserve fund.
So I just had one other question. So also, I remember in your presentation to the Destination Marketing Committee, you had mentioned the Smile Cookie campaign and that you would be willing to continue to do that campaign annually and donate the $10,000 towards the maintenance costs for the park as well, right?
Yeah, that falls into the $25,000 we were
Okay.
talking about. I can't specifically say that Tim Hortons is going to continue to give us
For sure.
that campaign ongoing. I think we've got a good relationship with them, and it's been working well so far. And let's say even this $25,000 runs out, I think as long as our committee is still together, we would at that point, if there was some capital costs that needed to be come up with, I don't think we would have a problem fundraising to help with those capital costs. Obviously, we're still members of the community, and if there's something we can do to help, we're all in.
Awesome. I'm also just wondering if you thought of approaching either OCN or the RM, just because I'm assuming it's going to be a regional park that everybody's going to be allowed to use, to see if they might be willing to contribute towards maintenance costs as well.
We haven't approached them about maintenance costs, but we certainly have been encountering some hurdles with getting this passed through council. So we're possibly looking at not even having the park in town, but I guess that'll remain to be seen.
Okay. I have one question. The last time we spoke about this, there was estimates between anywhere from $7,000 to $20,000 of maintenance costs, and that one figure, that $20,000, actually came, I believe it was from Selkirk or Steinbeck?
From Steinbeck, yes.
Steinbeck. So I'm wondering if you could just explain how, because there's more to it than a spray park at the $20,000 cost. So
Absolutely.
Just explain that.
They have some parking lot costs that are involved in there, and they have an outdoor pool, which is also part of their $20,000. When I met with Brian, he'd asked me to look into the actual costs of water. Comparatively to those other communities, and we average about 3.15% higher cost of water per 1,000 gallons than other communities as well. So the figures we gave between of $5,000 and $10,000 are still pretty firm.
Okay. I would just say that this has been a long time coming. I cannot believe the effort that has gone through for this. It takes dedication to a whole new level. This council has worked very hard over these last 3.5 years to work towards developing our community, to make it a more of an attractive place to come and move to. There's a lot of mining activity that's taking place up in Snow Lake that may have some dividends towards our community. So we have to make sure that we have things that they don't. We have French immersion, they don't. We are going to have a spray park, they don't. We have, we have a lot of facilities in terms of recreation. A lot of it's barrier-free, some of it is cost, but we have a lot more to offer. And so every time we can put a check mark in that column to entice people to move, live here, work here, recreate here, enjoy here, then we need to do everything we can to support that. So it's my understanding that your group is looking to raise all of the money in terms of your actual fundraising and your grants to provide this facility, and then it's our job to look after it, and apparently with some assistance if push comes to shove. So I say go, go, go. I have one vote here, but my vote is with you.
Great, thank you, Jim.
Okay. Thank you.
I'd also just like to pass these in as well to council. This one letter is written by local students in favor of the spray park.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, item number 5, the CAO report, please. Here. And everybody leaves.
What if something else happens?
Just getting to the fun stuff.
For whatever reason, we had a couple more sent in. I don't know why people thought it was a public forum, that it was a public hearing, because it wasn't. So this will be coming back on our next agendas. Yeah. Yeah, it's all about the spray park stuff. So anyways.
Okay. Randy.
So the following is an update as it relates to various departmental reports. Public Works has been dealing with water breaks, frozen sewer lines, sewer jetting. Water reader readings were done late due to staffing shortage. Oh my Lord, God no. However, they're now complete. Summer student applications are starting to come in all departments finally. Preparing the street sweeper for cleanup. I have a problem with my S's today. Dealing with various complaints of potholes and drainage issues. Drainage issues are becoming a major concern. I went on a little tour today with Sam, and underneath those drainage issues, we've got some pretty big eroded roads, so that's going to be our next major issue. After-school swim lessons started April 10th, and 25 children were registered, which is a pretty big group. Arena hosted Chase the Ace. It was a huge event, and we were lucky enough to see someone win over $1 million in our town facility. Yeah. Funding recommendations were sent to the Moffat Family Fund, to the Winnipeg Foundation. Rec Director is working with Simcoe on finalizing a date for the installation of required filters for the brine system. They're supposed to be coming hopefully in the next couple of weeks to get working on our issues with our ice. CAO and HRO participated in mediation with the United Steelworkers. Management.
So, just back up. Did we locate where the leak was?
There's a lot more than just a leak. There's problems with the headers and stuff, so they're coming to troubleshoot and take the brine out. Okay. We require their assistance with that because the brine that we put in temporary, just at the end of season, she started leaking again.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
So,
didn't interrupt.
Management participated in benefits review meeting. We're working with UCN for practicum student at the town garage for a 6-week placement. Sweeper at the airport is set up and ready to go. Trent from the paper, we're going to be contacting you to maybe do a little bit of a story on that. Interviewing for airport operator position. Airport is planning a full-scale exercise in June with an additional tabletop exercise this week. This is to meet with the safety management system requirements for the airport, and also it's going to help us with our emergency plan for the town. Working on cannabis policy and legislation as it relates to the workplace. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process. Demolition of New Hawaiian is now complete. Insert applause here.
Yes, no kidding.
So that's it? That pad is, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt.
The pad is staying there for now.
The pad is staying?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's in decent shape, so we just let them leave it.
Sure, yeah, no, I was just wondering if that's where it was
New
going.
ownership, I'm
Yeah.
sure will.
Maybe, yeah,
Yeah.
probably not, but.
Building permit applications are slowly trickling in. It'll get busy fairly soon. Working with Manitoba Conservation regarding the lake lot development. They're helping us with some ideas on how to maybe deal with garbage pickup, stuff like that, because we had an agreement with them, but we're meeting and trying to come up with a most cost-effective way for the town. And only one residential lot is available for purchase in Wood Acres. So the lot sales went extremely well, I think better than we all anticipated. So hopefully we see some development.
Okay, any questions? Here we go. Bylaw, 6.1, Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act. Second reading.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Commodore, whereas the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act, MBEA, came into effect on August 8, 2016, and whereas the MBEA provides municipalities with the ability to enforce parking violations through an administrative penalty scheme, as the provincial court will no longer be the venue for resolving parking violations. Therefore, be it resolved, bylaw number 4570, being the bylaw of the town of La Pas to provide for an administrative penalty scheme for the enforcement of all town of La Pas parking bylaws in accordance with the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act, be read for a second time.
Any questions?
Want me to read it again?
Yeah, only a different page.
You should let Margaret touch them, yeah.
Yeah, it always goes in the head.
Call the question, all in
I
favor?
didn't see it there.
Carried.
Tried to grab one.
Third reading.
Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4570, being the bylaw of the town of La Pas to provide for an administrative penalty scheme for the enforcement of all town of La Pas parking bylaws in accordance with the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act, be read a third time and be passed.
All right, this is third reading. It's a recorded vote. Any questions, first of all? Councillor Commodore.
Yes.
Councillor Forward.
Aye.
Councillor Gibb.
Aye.
Councillor Cross.
Aye.
Councillor Rock.
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski.
Aye.
I am also an aye. It's carried.
Start saying aye. Where am I?
All right, 6.2, designated officers. Second reading.
Whereas the Municipal Bylaw Enforcement Act, MBEA, came into force on August 8, 2016, and the Provincial Offences Act, POA, came into force on November 20, 2017. And whereas the town of La Pas chose to work with both these acts, and whereas both these acts require a bylaw which appoints designated officers, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4571, being the bylaw of the Town of the Pas to establish designated officer positions within the Town of the Pas and to repeal bylaw number 4493, be read a second time.
Any questions? Call question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved, bylaw number 4571, being bylaw of the Town of the Pas to establish designated officer positions within the Town of the Pas and repeal bylaw number 4493, be read a third time and passed.
This is a third reading, recorded vote. Councillor Commodore.
Aye.
Councillor Forward. Aye. Councillor Gibb.
Aye.
Councillor Cross.
Aye.
Councillor Rock.
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. It's carried 7-1. All right, 6.3, Provincial Offense Act.
Moved by myself, second by Councillor Gibb. Whereas on November 20th, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, POA, came into force. And whereas the POA replaces the Summary Convictions Act and establishes clear and effective processes for prosecuting offences under Manitoba statutes, regulations, and municipal bylaws. And whereas the POA provides for a simplified procedure for municipalities to enforce bylaws by issuing a ticket for a violation and prosecuting that person through provincial court. Therefore, be resolved that bylaw number 4572, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for the implementation of the Provincial Offences Act, be read a second time.
Any discussion? Call question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gibb, be resolved that the bylaw number 4572, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide the implementation of the Provincial Offences Act, be read a third time and be passed.
Recorded votes. Councillor Commodore.
Aye.
Councillor Forward. Aye. Councillor Gibb.
Aye.
Councillor Cross.
Aye.
Councillor Rock.
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. It's carried. 6.4, Animal Control.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gibb. Whereas November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, POA, came into force. And whereas Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with this POA. Therefore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4573, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for the regulation and controls of animals within the Town of the Pas, within the limits of the Town of the Pas, and to repeal number 4481, be read a second time.
Any discussion on this? Call a question, all in favor? It's carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Gibb, be resolved that the bylaw number 4573, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for the regulation and control of animals within the limits of the Town of the Pas, and to repeal bylaw number 4481, be read a third time and be passed.
This is also recorded vote. Councillor Commodore.
Aye.
Councillor Forward. Aye. Councillor Gibb.
Aye.
Councillor Cross.
Aye.
Councillor Rock.
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski.
Aye.
I'm also an aye. It's carried. Derelict vehicles.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it whereas on November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, POA, came into force, and whereas Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with the POA, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4574, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas with respect to the storage of unregistered derelict vehicles, and to repeal bylaw number 4496, be read a second time.
All right. Any question? Call a question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Be it resolved that bylaw number moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4574 being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas with respect to the storage of unregistered derelict vehicles and to repeal bylaw number 4496 be read a third time and be passed.
This is a recorded vote. Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
Councillor Forward? Aye. Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Cross?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
And also an aye. All right, unsightly property.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, whereas on November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, POA, came into force. And whereas Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with the POA, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4575, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to maintain property and to regulate nuisances, derelict, abandoned, and unsightly property, and to repeal bylaw number 4506 be read a second time.
Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4575, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to maintain property and to regulate nuisances, derelict, abandoned, and unsightly property, and to repeal bylaw number 4506 be read a third time and be passed.
All right, this is a recorded vote. Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
Councillor Forward? Aye. Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Cross?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
And also an aye. 7-0, carried. All right, streets and sidewalks.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, whereas on November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act came into force, and whereas the Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with the Provincial Offences Act, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4576, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas pertaining to the regulation and cleaning of streets and sidewalks, and to repeal bylaw number 4512 be read a second time.
All right, any questions? Call the question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Commodore, be it resolved that bylaw number 4576, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas pertaining to the regulation and cleaning of streets and sidewalks, and to repeal bylaw number 4512, be read a third time and be passed.
All right, this is a recorded vote. Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
Councillor Forward?
Aye.
Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Cross?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
Also an aye. It's carried. 6.8, noise.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock, whereas on November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, or POA, came into force, and whereas Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with the POA, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4577, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas pertaining to noise, and to repeal bylaw number 4511 be read a second time.
Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It's carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock, be it resolved that bylaw number 4577, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas pertaining to noise, and to repeal bylaw number 4511 be read a third time and be passed.
Okay, this is, surprise, surprise, a recorded vote. Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
Councillor Forward?
Aye.
Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Cross?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
I'm also an aye. It's carried. Fire prevention and emergency service. Please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock, whereas on November 17, 2017, the Provincial Offences Act, or POA, came into force, and whereas Town of the Pas bylaws must be in compliance with the POA, therefore be it resolved that bylaw number 4578, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for firefighting, fire prevention, the related regulations of fire and other hazards, the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire service, and to repeal bylaw number 4561 be read a second time.
Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It is carried. Third reading, please.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock, be it resolved that bylaw number 4578, being a bylaw of the Town of the Pas to provide for firefighting, fire prevention, the related regulations of fire and other hazards, the adoption of the Manitoba Fire Code, and for establishing, continuing, and operating an emergency fire services, and to repeal bylaw number 4561 be read a third time and be passed.
We are doing some housekeeping. All right, this is a recorded vote. Councillor Commodore?
Aye.
Councillor Forward?
Aye.
Councillor Gibb?
Aye.
Councillor Cross?
Aye.
Councillor Rock?
Aye.
Councillor Zelinski?
Aye.
Me too. 7-0, carried. All right, Committee, 7.1, Public Works and Maintenance, Muskegon Builders.
Can I leave?
Yeah.
Moved by Councillor Rock, seconded by Councillor Zelinski. Whereas in March of 2017, Muskegon Builders presented a proposal to develop a 24-unit multifamily building made up of 2 and 1 bedroom apartments. And whereas at the time the engineering department raised concerns regarding the condition and status of the lagoon and the impact a 24-unit building would have on it. And whereas since that time, the town has taken the necessary steps to ensure the lagoon moves forward with the required upgrades. And whereas the town completed the renewal of La Rose Avenue, which resulted in the elimination of all bleeders on the La Rose Avenue between 1st and 7th Street, which results in a water savings which will allow the town to offset the usage from additional development. Therefore, be it resolved that council authorize the engineering department to work with Muskegon Buildings in moving forward with their proposal for the development of a 24-unit multifamily building, and be it further resolved that council has agreed to continue to commit funds towards the lagoon upgrade.
What? No, I'm kidding. Thank you very much. Any discussion on this item? This is just wonderful to see. Wonderful.
Yeah, the benefit of the upgrade in La Rose is showing up in other things we're able to look at moving forward on.
Yep. Call a question. All those in favor? It is carried.
Jim, I didn't vote in favor of it.
I thought you did.
Nope, I had my hand down.
Okay, I'm sorry, then you're opposed?
So, yeah.
My fault, thank you.
It's just more questions in my head than answers.
Okay. Certainly your choice. All right.
Yep.
Moving on, 7.2.1, Public Safety Fire Department Summer Student.
Moved by Councillor Rock, seconded by Councillor Zelinski. Be it resolved that council authorize the hiring of a summer student for 9 weeks for the fire department, and be it further resolved that the summer student position be included in the fire department budget moving forward.
Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It is carried. All right, let's see, 7.4.1, a special service levy.
Moved by Councillor Rock, seconded by Councillor Zelinski. Whereas council has been looking at ways to increase the tax base and create a competitive tax rate which would encourage residential and commercial development, and whereas council initiated bylaw number 4569, being a bylaw of the town of the Pas, to establish a rate for police protection services as a special service within the town of the Pas for the years 2018 to 2021 inclusive. And whereas a public hearing was held on March 28, 2018 with regards to the special levy bylaw number 4569, therefore be it resolved that council will not be moving forward with the special service levy bylaw number 4569 as proposed.
Any discussion on this?
Just by way of comment, the issue came up, we heard the people speak. It's being suggested that we not move forward on that at this time, but we have to do something with that bylaw and this number. So by doing this, we're just not moving forward, and we're keeping it in the record as such.
What he said. All in favor? 7 and 9. Perfect. Okay, from there we're going on to payroll and accounts.
Moved by Councillor Rock, seconded by Councillor Zelinski. Resolved that council authorize the following accounts. Pay period number 7 in the amount of $94,606.17. General checks number 20718 to 20789 in the amount of $405,184.24. And EFTs, electronic funds transfers, in the amount of $64,247.
Any discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It's carried. Okay, pledge of taxes.
All right. Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Whereas each year a pledge of taxes is signed by the town to secure a line of credit from the Westover Credit Union, just in case operating dollars are required until taxes start coming in. Therefore, be it resolved that Council authorize the Mayor and the Chief Administrative Officer to sign a pledge of taxes in the amount of $1 million, being the line of credit for expenditures through Westover Credit Union for the year 2018.
Any discussion? So until our budget is finalized, we still have to do business, and this allows us to do just that. Any other discussion? Call the question, all in favor? It is carried. One moment, please. All right, 7.4.4, Small Cities Challenge.
It's actually Smart Cities.
Challenge.
Pardon me?
Smart cities?
Oh, okay, it is Smart Cities, yeah.
Yeah, Smart Cities.
I didn't see the small print.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Whereas Opaskwayak Cree Nation, the Town of the Paw, and the rural municipality of Kelsey have created a joint council to address mutual interests known as the Tri-Council. And whereas the Tri-Council has established a working group to develop a Smart Cities Challenge application, and whereas the Tri-Council has agreed to consider a project which would have the greatest benefit for the communities represented by the Tri-Council. And whereas one partner, Opaskwayak Cree Nation, has researched and established the LED vertical farm technology as a nutritional food security source in our area. And whereas our Tri-Council area has a high rate of diabetes and other health needs that will benefit from a cost-effective, nutritious health food source close to home. And whereas the Tri-Council wishes to utilize new and innovative technologies to address food security, food distribution, and concurring health issues. Therefore, be it resolved that the Town of the Paw support the Tri-Council Smart Cities Challenge Working Group in their development and submission of a Smart Cities Challenge project application titled Growing into the Future, Clean and Healthy.
It's contagious.
Yeah, it is. S's.
Any questions?
No, just by way of comment, it's a project we've been working on as a small committee, which grew into a much larger one. It's trying to go after some $250,000 to develop the plan forward, and it's building on something that's already existing in our region. So it's a positive thing for us, and also it has to be submitted by tomorrow, so we need to.
Yeah, is there a way we can, I
Deal
can
with
have
it
this
tonight.
email, scan the email to me tonight so that we can submit it tonight? Sure.
Yeah. Any other discussion? Well, good luck. Call the question. All in favor? All in favor of that. All right. March 16th board minutes are attached. Other committee reports, Museum Board, Councillor Ross.
They lacked a quorum, so we didn't have a meeting last week.
Chamber of Commerce, Councillor Commodore.
Yeah, we had a meeting on Wednesday, and business as usual, and we're just finalizing the trade show, which will be held on the May 13th weekend.
Okay. Sustainable Force, I don't imagine you've had a meeting?
No, not until May.
Community Development Corporation, Councillor Gibb.
There was a meeting last week. I was away. One thing that was signed today was the MOU with PBDC, so that's a big step forward.
Good, very good. Destination, the minutes are attached.
MOU.
We had a meeting after that, actually.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah, we
I'll send you a
talked
copy.
about the golf course, and so if anybody out there from the golf course board is listening, we encourage you to come and see the Destination Marketing Committee. We have a Destination Marketing Coordinator who is able to fill or help with grant applications and that process. And we have another meeting on Thursday, actually, so.
Excellent. Recycling Board, Councillor Zelinski.
We have a meeting scheduled for this week.
We had one last week.
We had it last week?
Yeah.
Okay, I missed it.
Missed it.
Yeah, I can speak to it.
Okay.
So it continues to be busy at the center. Our tonnage was up January, February, down March a little bit. We reviewed, there was a information sent to us about mattress recycling. Somebody out of Winnipeg had indicated that they thought there was some opportunity for that, but after reviewing it, that's not really the case. It would be a pretty significant loss to try and actually undertake that. So that's not going to happen. We did lose our vice chairperson. Eric Hopper resigned at the last meeting. He is moving away, so we are in search of potentially another board member. We reviewed some bylaws. At present, when the Recycle Center board was set up, there was an initial set of bylaws that were created, but nobody has a copy and nobody could find any record of. And so we had a new set of bylaws drawn up, and we had Dion Bird review them for us just for a cursory look. He thought they looked good. I mean, there's nothing fancy about them. They're pretty standard for nonprofits. We probably will ask to have a lawyer review it just to be sure that it's on the up and up and they weren't missing anything like indemnification and things like that. And so that will be an additional cost. We did discuss the nominal surplus, or I guess for lack of a better word, the nominal surplus being asked by the town for that to be incorporated into this year's budget. And so that will require a little bit of work on our manager's end to make sure that, because everything operates out of one bank account, that whatever surplus exists there, a portion of it belongs to the town, but a portion of it also belongs to the RM, and a portion belongs to OCN. And so we have to do a little bit of sorting out about what that actually looks like, and make sure that we're not setting ourselves up in a position where we find ourselves working at a loss or sending away other municipal government money that came in. So a little bit of work there. Probably there'll be some correspondence, Randy, for yourself and Graham in the next week or two, just kind of clarifying what that looks like on the budgetary end of things.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know, was there anything else, Margaret? I think that was the majority of what we discussed.
We're looking for a good deal on a truck.
Oh, yeah. Along
Very
the
good
lines
deal.
of Collings in surfaces, where the old truck that is used for hauling garbage and kind of providing backup support and service support during the week is done. So it's been done a couple of times, and Wayne Anderson keeps resurrecting it for us. But it's likely not worthy of another $800 investment. So we're having a look, the manager's having a look around for an appropriate second-hand 3/4 ton truck that can be a backstop and still provide what we need out there. So all that's work in progress.
Yeah. Okay, good to hear. The Pot Community Renewal Corporation, Councillor Zelinski.
No, we have a meeting scheduled for next Wednesday.
Are you sure it wasn't last week?
I'm pretty sure it wasn't last week. I'm like 95% sure it wasn't last week. But it might be this week, so, yeah.
Library Board, Councillor Forward.
We did not meet in the last period since we've met. There is a meeting tomorrow night of a committee of the Library Board regarding the negotiations with the MGU that is ongoing.
Okay. Kelsey Planning District, we're meeting on Friday, and no meeting with the Kelsey School Nutrition Committee. We'll move on then to purchase agreements, 9.1.1, 1010 Johnson Crescent.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Be resolved that council authorize the mayor and the assistant CAO to sign a purchase agreement with Curtis Garrow for the purchase of Lot 4, Block 3, Plan 30749, being 1010 Johnson Crescent.
Any discussion? Call the question. All in favor? It is carried. All right, 9.1.2, 50 Garmer Crescent.
Moved by myself, seconded by Councillor Rock. Be it resolved that council authorize the mayor and the assistant CAO to sign purchase agreement with Art Barbeau for the purchase of Lot 13, Block 2, Plan 24018 being 50 Gardner Crescent.
Okay. Any discussion on this? Hearing none, I'll call the question. All in favor? It is carried. Citizens period. They don't even look up anymore. Jeez.
I thought Trevor was asleep.
I did too. All right, motion to adjourn then, please. We're done. Councillor Haas. All right, we're